BassResinator here, going outside my comfort zone. I'm going to use Mix2Mold, and I have blue, green, and purple. I don't have white, but I'm going to do this mold, which is like a stained glass window type of thing. So it's going to be blue, and then I'm going to be able to paint different colors after it's all done. So I'm going to mix up. I got three. This thing only understands metric. So I got 314 grams of Mix2Mold powder. I'm hoping that's enough for this. If not, I'm going to end up having to mix green or purple, which I have over here, in there. But I got to go get some water now, and I'll be back. And if for some reason there's too much, I have this bird mold here. And if not, then I'll save that for resin. But resin and chrome powders, I think, would really do good on that. Anyway, gonna do this with Mix2Mold, so I'll be right back. Well, I started pouring water in. I think I got too much. It's super liquidy. So I went with a calculator that I found online from Elechem, and I think that's way too liquidy. So I think I'm going to mix some green in here. Green powder. Just a bit. Well, I mixed in a scoop of the green. And it's thicker. I don't know, man. Like I said, this is not my comfort zone. So goodness. Is this supposed to be this liquidy? Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm just going to go for it. If I'm wrong, well, then I'm wrong. It's very liquidy. Oops, I don't think I want any up on top of that. I want to leave that back part hollow. No, I calculated the right amount. I calculated 8 ounces would go in there. Well, that was good. I had a glump of that green. Well, I guess we just sit and wait then. Well, I don't know how well this is going to work, but we'll see. I let this cure overnight, and then I even put it on the heat mat for 2 hours, so it should be rock solid now. And what I'm going to do is there's still about a quarter of an inch gap between where I left off with the Mix2Mold and the top of this mold. So I'm going to pour in some resin because I want this window part. Now, I know there's a little round thing up here that could also be considered window, but I'm just going to paint that. But right here I'm going to have like windows to the outside world. But I added a couple drops of sky blue let resin dye. And partly I was wondering if pouring resin straight on top of this would cause this to start leaching out some of that color. So I thought even if it doesn't, I'll still have blue. If it does, then it'll match. I don't know. in my mind, it was a good thing to have a light blue, very pale blue windows with a darker blue window sill, because when I put sealer on top of this, once I pull it out, it's going to change the color to a darker color. So I'm finishing up mixing my Promise Epoxy 1 hour curing resin. So that's what's going to be this last little bit. Stick is cleaned off. And I mixed it very slowly, so I don't think there's any, shouldn't be very many bubbles, if any. So here, see how pale blue that is? We'll see how far this goes. This is 3 ounces of resin here. Now you see, even with, yes, this is a pale blue, but on top of that silicone right there, it doesn't look blue at all. But the Mix2Mold went darker. So that's what I'm expecting it to happen when I seal it. You got lots of little bubbles up. Not so much on the, what I'm calling the windows, but on the Mix2Mold. So I'm assuming it's going to be absorbing some of this in there, into it. You know what? I've got, get away from the edge bubbles. Maybe if I just go over them real quick like this with this toothpick, they'll release off the Mix2Mold area. There's a scad of them. And I know it's just because this Mix2Mold has a porous nature about it. Oh, poor us. I'll get these right now, and then if any more come up, well, hopefully they'll come all the way up to the top and pop, like a couple of them already are. The rest of these I'm going to get right now with a long-handled lighter. I'm not going to stand here for an hour doing this. But you can see what I'm doing and what I've done. So now just let this cure up, and then we'll work on the other side and sealing it. Cool beans. Well, it cured up, and I was popping bubbles as quickly as I could with my toothpick. But then this resin cures so quickly that as I was going, I was already starting to leave globules of resin sticking up, so I had to stop. But I'm glad this is the backside, because we got a whole bunch of bubbles along here on the bottom, around the edge right here, but none in the windows. So now to unmold this and see what I'm going to be able to do with it. Boy, this is heavy. Oh, that just popped right on out. Good. Now you see, there we go. Got our window. Some dirt or something on there made it look like a bubble. But this area here and here could be considered part of the window. Let me get this mold out of the way. So I need to be considering that as I paint it, but I want to paint it like stained glass. So these areas here, oh, you know what I could do? I have colored UV resin. Oh man, there was a little bubble right there. Let me get that cleaned off. I don't want to let that glass area accumulate this dust that from that mold. There we go. So, and then I'll be able to paint around. Maybe I won't even paint. Maybe I'll just do the glossy sealant that I have for this. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I'm thinking I want to leave this like it is. But maybe these thingies right here and this little, well, they're not quite a regular arch, but those arches, maybe go over them with a, I don't know if it'll work. I have chrome markers. That's the wrong size. Yeah, there we go. This is a silver chrome. Let me just see what it looks like on this middle section. Oh man. Can you see what I'm seeing? Maybe I'll just do man, that is like, oh. How was that, Mr. Watkins? Oh no. Well, I guess I got to go down in the inside now too. That's okay. I wasn't planning on it, but I was considering it. But since it went down anyway, let me get it this way. And then it's already starting, it goes on with this really beautiful luster, and then it starts losing it because it's getting soaked in by that plaster. So going over this with the glaze, I think will be the best thing. Or maybe go over it again after it soaks it all in. Let's see. Will it remain its luster or retain its luster? I don't know if it is or not. It looks like it's holding it. I don't know if any of you have ever soldered anything, but when solder gets to the melting point, it looks like this. Or if any of you were like me and had a chance playing with mercury. My dad used to have a little bottle, I don't know why, of mercury at the house. And you can get it out, pour it, and it always forms little balls, well, like a bubble. And we didn't know any different, at that time, that it was bad for our health and stuff. But we weren't exposed to it for long periods of time. But if you bump it, it would turn into a whole bunch of other little bubbles, and then they'd all try and come back together. It was really kind of fun playing with that. But that's what this reminds me of too. Liquid mercury. Not Freddy. Well, okay, I think I'm gonna not mess with that anymore, but that to me, that looks really, really cool. Okay, let me get my, I don't want the black. I have green. I have orange. I have red. And yellow. And I mixed up my own light blue. Now let's just see how this works. Light blue in these. Ooh, I'm liking this. Fill up all the way over to the edge. Here we go. That looks cool. Okay, let me get these out of the way so I can bring the lamp over. Let me pause. Okay, so the light blue is in there, and I'm thinking it looks really, really cool. Excuse me. I'm gonna go yellow in these little areas. Which may look green because the yellow with that blue in the background. I'm just putting a dot and letting it flow like it needs to. Yeah, that is looking green, which is fine. Do I want to do the same thing on these areas? No, but I am going to want to do it here on these areas around the florid design. I don't know if the person who made this mold was ever thinking about it being used in this way, but or designed this mold, but you know, I'm doing it, and that's what counts. Now I do have this green, so I'm thinking I'm going to go the green is going to be darker than that yellow, so this will be fine out here. Needs a little bit more to flow to those recesses, alcoves, or whatever you want to call them. Come on, get there. Maybe a little more. I'll just let it continue to move on its own. Now, what I'm wanting to do, I'm going to mix up a little Since I'm already using silver around there, I'm thinking I'll mix up some resin with a little bit of UV resin with a little bit of silver colorant. Okay. I have this really intense metallic powder from Let's Resin, and there is a silver in there that's like, oh, and I better not put too much in it, just like that. Oh, I can't put too much in it because then it'll be too opaque and it won't cure. So I'm just going to get a little bit on the end of this toothpick, and that should be enough. Oh, wow. There's that mercury I was talking about. Goodness. Okay. This is fun. And those kept a little bit of glossiness to them. That's good. Oh, I was going to put that green in there too. Let me get that now. Stop those bubbles. You see what I'm doing? This is nice and silvery. I hope it cures. Probably gonna have to do it in layers. Hate to do this and then stand it up and have it ooze out. That would be kind of nastiness. Okay, I think all those bubbles that were hanging out have dissipated. I don't know what that is. Okay. Now to put the thing over the top, I'll pause it. Okay, I think I'm going to put a little bit more silver in there now. You know, in the future, what might be a lot of fun is to do something like this, but to put a little something behind there so that it's not so deep, and then put a little light and have it glow and make it look like the stained glass is. Anyway, that in my mind that sounded really good. Okay, so I'm gonna go, one of these is gonna go blue, top one, that's a pretty blue, and then I have an olive green, so we'll go with that. That's should be a darker green than the other ones. Let me go here. And then I have light orange. I have no idea what it's going to look like against that blue, like pale blue. Maybe it'll stay orange. And then I have regular orange, which is going to go here. Which the regular orange looks lighter than the light orange. Maybe it'll change with as it soaks into that plaster in there. Okay, now this one is red. So we're going to go red down here. Now that kept that color. Oh yeah. These are looking cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool. I wish that were fluid and oh, it might be. So I could just pour it in just a little bit more. I want it to be the same height as these other ones. Come on. One more. Get out of there. Okay. Yeah, that's where I want it. Okay, now I'm going to put this on for a little bit longer. Put this under the light too so it'll cure that up. I'll go a minute on that. I'll be back. Okay, this is for Nerd Goblin. She said I'd do a cool Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Watch out for the... I was going to say chopper, but we don't have a chopper here. Watch out for the lamp. I decided I'm going to use the gold one to go on these little buckles. And actually do these down here too. And this is a thinner point. Oh, come on now. Well, let me go here and get it started. Okay. The wind is blowing something fierce today. I don't know if you can hear it outside the window. I'm right next to a window. And you can hear the woo. Well, that wasn't quite windy. It sounded. There, that's the sound I was wanting to get. That's what I'm hearing outside. Okay, yeah, that looks kind of cool. Now, I only want to do, and I'll get out my bigger gold one. Or maybe I won't have to. I don't want to get all the way up to that edge because I might bump it. And once I think this stuff is on that plaster, it's not going to wipe off like it does on regular resin. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Well, I just blew it. I went up onto that third one. Okay. Arg. Well, let me make the other one look the same. You know what? I'll just go the size of the buckle. I'm going to let that marker completely dry, and then I'm going to go over this with well, I do have, but I don't want to use that. I'll show you what I'm going to use. I want to use this Scorch marker, which is a maker of these markers that you can rub onto wood and then go over it with a hot gun or heat gun and it'll burn it into it, which is kind of cool. But they make stuff similar to Mod Podge. But this, okay, I'm going to show you what I did. We had a dog, Titan's mom passed away a while ago, and they gave us her paw print with her name in plaster, in some clay, air dry clay. And so what I did, I went over it with this, and look at that glossy. That's what I'm gonna do, and I did that with this Scorch marker glossy finish. So that's what I'm gonna do on this, but I gotta wait for that. I don't want to go over that and have that all smear. That wouldn't be real good. So then the question is, it looks like I messed up the gold right there. Question is, do I want to go over these other little ridges with the marker or not? And I'm thinking I don't want to. That little dog barks all the time. It's a rescue dog, and it was always kept in a cage inside, and so now that it gets out, it just wants its voice being heard everywhere. Which is kind of cool. Okay, let that cure up. Be back after a while. Well, this has been sitting a while, so I'm going to take it as if it's cured or completely dried on there so that I can go over it with some of this scorch glaze. Scorch marker Maker's Magic Gloss. That's what it's called. Pour a little bit into this cup. Okay. Start on this side. I'm not going to do the back because we got resin back there. Whoop, look at there. I want to get the sides done and then I'll do the inside. Get this bottom side done here. I put parchment paper down so that if I don't want this stuff getting all over my silicone mat. It's sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Sticky. Okay, so now this other side I'm going to have to do just like so. All right.
So high, we've got resin art that hits the sky. Bass is thumping, heart stuck slow. Feel the vibe, we let it grow. Colors swirl like liquid gold. Stories told and tales unfold. Catch the rhythm on the fly. BassResinator, here to amplify. BassResinator, feel the groove. Resin art makes the spirit move. In the valley where dreams take flight, we beat with sound under moonlit night. Sunsets blaze with resin bright, echoes dance into the night, crafting beats with every stroke. Bass and resin, it's no joke. We've got canvases shining loud, art that makes the crowd so proud. Under stars our passion reigns, bass resin and no restraints. BassResinator, feel the groove. Resin art makes the spirit move. In the valley where dreams take flight, we beat with sound under moonlit night.
Okay, now let it sit for a while. And then I'll come back and give it another coat of this. Cover that up so I can use that same little bit. I don't think I need to get any more out. and dry off this little thingy. I'm gonna go rinse this one out, and I'll be back when I'm ready to do coat 2. Okay, round 2. See you then. Well, it dried very quickly. And there is a brush. Well, it's not coming off. Okay. One of the bristles was bristling. Now, what I have not told you yet is what I'm planning on doing is putting some flowers down here, some dried flowers, and then coating those with some resin and have a really pretty little display. What thinkest thou of that? I am thinking yes. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the original Ghostbusters, but Rick Moranis turned into some weird beast thing, and when he was captured by the Ghostbusters and taken to their office, he sort of snapped out of it, but he was totally lost. He had not realized he had been possessed by this gozer or whatever that thing was. And somebody says, "You want some coffee?" And he looked at him, "Do I want coffee?" And the guy answered, "Yes, have some." And I had some students, this was years ago, that back then the phrase was, "Yes, have some." So I was just about to say that, and I thought, no, better give you a little warning as what I'm saying, why I'm saying. The wind, like I said, is really kicking up, and I took the dog for a walk. And now I got massive amounts of dust in my throat. Not a pleasant feeling. If it were Froggy Friday, I would say I got a frog in my throat. But it is Sunday afternoon, so I can't, well, I could say it, but it wouldn't be as punny. I like the way this little brush thingy, this makeup brush, I'm able to get into these little alcoves much easier. And it goes pretty quickly. And it doesn't leave brush strokes. So after I finish doing this, I'll let it cure up, and then I'll choose some dried flowers, probably pressed ones, and then put them in here. And I'll use that 1 hour epoxy, and we'll be done with this shortly. Okay, I got 4 pressed flowers here, and I'm going to put them down with some UV resin to keep them from floating. I'm going to put a blue one on one side and a white one on one side, on both sides. Come on. Getting awfully close to running out of this. There we go. Some little bubbles there. Okay, I'm going to put a white one on the bottom. I'm wondering if I should alternate, like a white one on the bottom here. No, I think I'll be consistent. Granddaughter's coming over in just a bit. We're gonna have a fun time. Yep. Okay. So we cure this with the UV flashlight that I have. Let me go through the window. Oh, sticking on this. Have to clear that off in a bit. That's nasty. Nasty, nasty. Oh, that'll just peel right off. Okay. Don't have to worry about that. Okay, so those are down. Now I just need to mix up a little bit of resin, and I'll pour it in there. How's that sound? Looking like a wiener. I'll be right back. Okay, I got this mixed up. I'm going to do something slightly different. This is not different. These are a type of flower with that center part that oozes bubbles. So I'm getting those covered up right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in all these cavities with this resin over the top of that UV resin, just to give it a little bit more depth. I think it's going to look cool. And it actually lightens up that color a bit. Now I don't know if it'll stay the lighter color or if it'll change and go darker as it cures, but we'll find out. But so far so good. I mixed up 3 ounces. Don't know exactly how much I'm gonna need, but I want to get over the top of those flowers. I'm liking the look of this. Oh yeah, that light orange actually went light orange now. So we are having some fun now. Okay, now to pour this in here. And this is deep enough that even with those flowers in place, they will not, there's still room to, I don't know what you want to put in there, but you can put something in there. Well, I didn't use all of this resin. I'm just getting it up to where there's a little line on this where the resin soaked into the plaster and it got it darker, so that's what I'm going up to. And there are a couple spots where there's a bubble holding on, it looks like. This would be a pretty thing to have in a windowsill or sitting on a counter, or even on a table. Okay, looks like I can put some more into this. need to be done. Okay. Now we let it cure up. And we are done. Okay. If I don't come back and talk video-wise, subscribers, thank you for subscribing. You making this journey on YouTube a lot of fun. I hope you guys are all having fun watching these things. As much fun as I am making them. So, yeah. We'll see you, and I'll take some glamour shots when this is all over. Okay, we'll see you then. Bye.